Hey guys, it's Chris from Smithy Finance, and this is your midday market report for Tuesday, May 20th. So, big move in gold and silver today. Gold up 50, silver up 65 cents. It's a big move. We're over 33 again. Copper flat at 466, and palladium and platinum are moving as well, both up over $40. Oil now up 20 cents. It had been down earlier, so we're climbing back to 63. As I said, I think the oils are a nice play. Might be a bit early, but better to be early than late, right, on these bargain prices. So I like the oils. On the Bitcoin side, we're 106. So the all-time high, I believe, was about 108. So we are very close, and we're going to go through it soon. If you don't own any, you should. We'll talk about that. So I want to go through a few things, a few of the stocks that I own, and it's maybe some trading tips around that stock, but also that similar situation. So this morning on the Ivanhoe, symbol IVN, we had some news that they had seismic activity, a recording of seismic activity in one of their mines, and they've had to close it down for a couple of days. That seismic activity, according to the report, has subsided. The warning has been lifted. This is on their Congo, one of their Congo mines. The warning by the Congolese government has been lifted. They are now they said they're doing a safety inspection to make sure there is no damage, and then they'll be back to mining at full throttle, one would assume, in the next day or so. So it's a very minor problem, and yet the stock sold off pretty heavy. It went from 1365 to roughly 12 and a half. So that's a big move for what I would consider minor disruption. Now, mining is tough, right? We've talked about that. Mining is tough. There's often problems, exogenous problems that you can't predict, and that's why we want to be always ready to do some buying on the bad news. Okay, we want to buy the bad news and sell the good news. With other stocks, you want to buy the downgrade and sell the upgrade. As a trader, we have to go against it, right? So anyway, the Ivanhoe sold off. I had an open order at 1350, so that got filled right away. I had an order at 13 even. That got filled. I put in another order at 1265. That got filled. And then it started to rally. I bought some more at 1290. And here we are right now at 1320. So it's recovering. What happens is people have stop losses. So you might have had a stop loss if you're, following technical analysis. Maybe you got a stop loss at 1299. For example, if it goes through 13, get me out. There was also a technical channel that the stock was in. It fell below that channel. So again, if you're a technical analyst, you're looking at that and going, "Oh, the trend is broken. I better get out." But as I've said in other videos, I'm not a believer in technical analysis anymore. I still look at it; it can still guide me, but the pros play with it, and people get stopped out, and selling begets selling, and then you get a dumb sell-off, which is an opportunity to do some buying. We don't know how low is low, but like I said, I did 4 separate buys. It's at 1320. I think my average is 1290 roughly. I didn't nail it. It's okay. The average at 1290, 1320. If it gets back to 1350, I'll sell a little bit. A little bit that I bought at 1265, I'll sell some of that. It goes to 1380, I'll sell some more, 1410, and so on. And so the game goes. We saw a similar sell-off on AYA. Last week we had a nice move on their earnings. Sorry, the stock went to I don't know, 1185 Canadian or something, and then suddenly it dropped to the low tens. Again, I'm buying on that comeback. I had sold on the raise, and here we are at 1090, and so from 1005 or something at the low on Thursday or Friday, and now here we are at 1090. It's pretty good. We got silver up 65 cents. They're a silver company, and I suspect that we're going to go north on that one. Saturn Oil and Gas that I've talked about, and I mentioned oil a few minutes ago. It hit 184 something. It's at 170 now. I'm adding to my position down here. Again, it could easily be early on the oils, but they are darn cheap. I've jumped into Baytex here and there for trades. I'm still long, but I've bought and sold some of that. And I think that's cheap as well. But Saturn, SOIL, is my number one pick. As I've mentioned numerous times, I hate that stock. I'm not a fan of management, but at a certain point, value is value, and they seem to be actually doing quite well right now, which I begrudgingly give management, but I'm going to make some money on it, hopefully, because I've given that stock quite a bit of money over time. In other words, I've suffered some losses, at least paper losses. Yeah, Bitcoin. My play there, or I have lots of plays there. MicroStrategy or Strategy is my favorite. MSTR. But I've mentioned Hive recently, which is the Bitcoin miner and also an AI player of some sort. It's a small part of their business now, but it's growing. And Hive does have some growth engines on the horizon, or at least some growth coming in the near future. So that stock, which was I'm going to give you the Canadian numbers. So it's about 290 right now. The high on the stock, which was only, in November, the high looks like 760. So Bitcoin's almost back at the high, and this Bitcoin miner is less than half of where it was. All the miners got hit, by the way. And it is expensive to mine a Bitcoin. They are making money. Last I heard, their all-in cost was $65,000, but here we are at 106. So now they're making 40,000 per Bitcoin, and they also have a lot of Bitcoin, or quite a lot of Bitcoin, on their balance sheet. Anyway, do your own work. Look, through all of this, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You do your own work and make your own decisions. Yeah, I shouldn't have to say that every time, but anyway, another one, Reddit. So as you know, I've been in Reddit, and I have not played it very well. In fact, I've got some losses in it, but I've been accumulating again. And Reddit was a gap down yesterday in the States, and I didn't see any news, so I assume some broker somewhere downgraded it. And it dropped $8 roughly, from 113 to 105, jumped to 108. I think it's 106 right now. I still like the stock. It's a high multiple stock, so you got to be careful with it. But they have, or at least they should have, super growth ahead as they monetize their base, which is massive. So many people are on Reddit. About 1/3 the number, I understand, as are on Facebook, are on Reddit. And yet Reddit trades at a tiny, tiny percentage of the valuation of Facebook. And if Reddit can learn to unlock that, whether it's through advertising or through some other method, then the stock should do well over time. Who knows? Last one I want to talk to you about is Sigma Lithium. I've mentioned lithium. I had a look at the lithium chart, just the commodity, and lithium has just been going down, hitting 52-week lows. So Sigma Lithium, SGML, has been hit hard, and I own a little bit. I went in for a little bit more today. It's a small position, and I'm not buying a lot as it drops, because who knows how low is low. But I do know that when things are ugly, I should be buying them, right, as we did through the crash. Lastly, I want to just make a quick comment on Scott Adams. Now, Scott Adams is the Dilbert guy, and he's written a bunch of books, of which I've read 3 of them. He's a commentator. He does Coffee with Scott Adams every morning at 10 a.m. And, rather crushingly, he announced yesterday that he has terminal stage 4 prostate cancer, which is the same as Biden has, I understand. And I don't know, Scott's a great guy. He's smart, he's brave, because he's been a conservative voice when conservatives have been hated at certain points and targeted and canceled. And he stood in there. He's shared with us his life. His stepson died of a fentanyl overdose a few years ago. Scott got married in 2020 to his second wife and then divorced in 22 as she cheated on him. And he shared all of that. I kind of feel like I know the guy. It's funny. Anyway, rather devastating. It's serious. He figures he's gone this summer, and that he will euthanize himself, as it's legal in California. I gather, to take a drink or an injection and go to sleep and not wake up. So, great condolences to Scott. Of course, he won't watch this, but I'm just putting it out there in the universe. And I'm sad over it. It's he was born on June 8th of 57. My brother was born on June 7th of 57. So yeah, it kind of hits close, right? And we're seeing it more and more of people of my age having problems and and leaving the earth. So anyway, best to Scott. You guys, love your life for what it is now, and because we never know. And that sounds trite, but sometimes we need to be reminded. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.